Well, hello, and good morning, good afternoon. This is Miss Springs. I wanted to actually talk to you guys real quick. Um, I know I've been out for a few days. We'll see you guys on Monday, but until then, we are still learning. It does not matter whether I'm there or whether I'm not there. We still need to focus. This is a brand new standard, brand new unit, and we do not have a lot of time to go over this. And so I want to make sure that we're taking proper notes. I want to make sure that we are studying, and I want to make sure that you guys got all the information that you need in order to move forward with activities that you are going to be doing with this come next week since I've missed 3 days. Okay. So make sure that you have your math journal and make sure that you have a pencil. Um, as you know, it's very important to be prepared, not just for math class, but for every class. And so I'm going to give you a few seconds to get your materials ready. Again, math journal and a pencil. 30 seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with some more notes that I want you guys to take, and we'll go from there. All right, so I hope that you're ready. I'm going to go ahead and get started, okay? So, the last thing we left off with is talking about equilateral triangle, if you remember on Tuesday. And then we started doing the activity with the cut and paste activity that we did with points, lines raised, and line segment. Um, Yesterday, or I should say either Wednesday or Thursday, you guys should have completed the second part of that assignment where you had to do the same exact thing, but except this is with angles. So we're talking about right angle, acute, obtuse angles, and we went over that as a class. So that assignment should have been put together quite well. We're going to move on into the different types of triangles, or continue, I should say. Um, so we're going to move right along to right triangle. When I discussed the different types of angles, we talked about right, we talked about acute, and we also talked about obtuse, right? So here we are, right triangle. Um, the reason why we know that this is a right triangle is let's look at the angle. There is one angle that stands out among the rest. That angle is the right triangle, okay? So let's make sure that we are not exactly writing down everything, but of course, I always want you to write down what? An example, all right? So just write or draw a right triangle and just give me a brief definition. As you can see, I'm sitting here circling the right angle within that triangle. That's how we are able to identify and classify this triangle to be right. Okay, so again, what is a right triangle? It is one angle is a right angle that measures 90 degrees. Only one. Okay, so we have more than one right angle in a triangle. I'm telling you now, it is not a right angle, right triangle. Okay, so it's only one. All right, so let's remember that. Let's make sure that we have our example. Let's make sure that we do not necessarily have to write down everything. However, let's write down the most important. The most important part is making sure that we know that one angle measures 90 degrees in this right triangle, okay? But again, if you want to write down the whole thing, it is not long, and you are able to pause this, okay? So if you want to write down the entire definition of a right triangle, that is perfectly fine. But just make sure that you only write down one type of right triangle. You don't have to necessarily write down or draw all of the different ones that are listed here, okay? So I'm going to move right along, okay, to acute. Let me put this back first. And we're going to move to acute triangle, okay? And again, remember when we talked about angles. Another type of angle was acute angle, and of course you can see here is a little acute angle. But in order to know what a acute triangle is, you have to know what acute angles are, okay? Because we have angles, as you can see, we have angles inside of our triangle that we have here, okay? So an acute triangle is a triangle whose angles each measure between 0 and 90 degrees, okay? And we can definitely say that this is true. Look at these angles here. We have angle. Here's another one, and that one. So we know that an acute angle measures less than 90. And here we are. These are smaller angles, okay? So remember that an acute angle measures less than 90 degrees. So then we're looking at a triangle of that sort. All of them are going to look the same, less than 90 degrees. This angle is less than 90, this angle is less than 90, okay? So let's just remember that part. All right. I would ask you if you had any questions, but we will hold off on questions come Monday. I'm not able to hear you, of course, if you have any questions about anything. But I can say if you do have any questions, please, please, please make sure that you write them down at this time. And then when we go over what we need to go over, have our review, just to measure what you guys are learned or have learned this week without me through the assignments that were given. I can cover or answer any questions that you guys may have. All right, so let's get this definition down. Let's get our example down. Let's write or jot down some questions we might have, and then let's move along. Thirty seconds. All right. I hope we are writing as quickly as we can, but like I told you guys on Tuesday, your handwriting is improving so much. So I'm very proud of you on that. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it up. Let's move on to the next triangle. It should be the last one, okay? So the last one is a obtuse triangle. All right. So we know what an obtuse angle is. An angle that is larger than 90 degrees or longer, it says, but less than 180 degrees. Okay, so we know that about it. We know that about an obtuse angle. Well, it will apply in the same sense when we're talking about obtuse triangle. Okay, so an obtuse triangle has an angle, only one, that measures longer or larger than 90 degrees,